Welcome back. This story is called The Human Soul. This is my best story by far. This is my Born to Run, my Maggie May, my Purple Haze, The Human Soul. This is a story about the time that I saw the human soul. The human soul revealed itself to me. In order to see the human soul, really see it, actually have it right in front of you, realizing that the human soul is real, revealing itself to you, you have to go deep. And I went deep. Let me tell you where I went. This was around the year 2000. I was seeing a therapist, a mental health therapist, who recommended that I take this weekend course called TLC, the Learning Course. It previously had been called Understanding Yourself and Others, which was a much better title. So that's what we're going to call it, Understanding Yourself and Others. It was a weekend seminar I signed up for. It cost like $300. It started on Saturday morning. We met in a big conference room at a hotel in Orlando. There were 25 people, besides me, taking the course. There was another 50 people in the room who had already taken the course and were coming back to take it again for free. Once you've taken the course, you can come back as often as you want and take the course for free. And these people were assigned as angels. They were called angels, and each one was assigned to one of the new people. So they were there to help support the new people who were going through the course. The course had a lot of exercises that we did, like mindfulness exercises, just different exercises to help you think differently about yourself and about the way you're living your life. For example, they did this one thing where they had somebody come up and sit in a chair, one of the men sit in a chair. Then they brought 4 women up and they told each woman to stick their finger in one of the openings of the chair and then count to 3 and lift the chair in the air. So these women came up and they said, 1, 2, 3, lift. And of course they would move, the chair wouldn't move. And then they said, and this time I want everybody to yell and scream, yeah, 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 yeah. And then we'll try it again. So everybody's yelling and screaming, go, 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 go. And they, 1, 2, 3, lift. And sure enough, the chair went up like a foot, like that. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good trick. The highlight, the main event of this seminar, it went Saturday to Sunday to Monday night. The main event was every one of the people who were taking the course for the first time, the 25 of us, had the opportunity to come to the front of the room. They had a tall director's chair. And you could sit on the director's chair and basically tell your story. You tell your story for as long as you want. Take as long as you want to tell your story. And then everyone in the room, the new people and the angels, will then give you feedback. So this was how you learned about other people and about yourself. When the people were in the front of the room, in the director's chair, and they're speaking to the group, people in the group are encouraged to come forward and put a hand on the back of the person who's speaking as a sign of support. Sometimes there would be 3, 4, 6. One time there was 9 people that came up while somebody was speaking. There's one woman who was talking about a terrible tragedy in her life, and people were so moved, they came up and they put their hand on her back, and then they put their hand on the next person's back, so everyone's touching each other like that on the back shoulder. There was one gentleman there named Hector, and Hector was about in his 40s. He had just lost his daughter. A 13-year-old daughter had died. And he was there because he was in mourning about his daughter. And he spoke and he told his story and everything, and people came up, and it was fine. And then he went back and sat down. Later on, during the seminar, there was a young woman named Wendy. Wendy was probably in her 20s. And she got up to the front of the room and started talking about her father. Her father, with whom she was very close, had just recently passed away, and she was going through the mourning process. While Wendy was sitting in the chair, one of the facilitators, a woman named Vicky, got up from her seat, came over, took Wendy by the hand, and led her over to a little area in front of the room where nobody was sitting down, and said, stand here. Vicky then went and got Hector, and took Hector by the hand and took him over to where Wendy was standing. She had the two of them standing like this. They were facing each other. And she was in the middle between the two of them. I mean, they weren't more than 12 inches apart. And Vicky said to Hector, she said, I want you to say to Wendy, everything that you wish you could say to your daughter, who's now passed. And she said to Wendy, I want you to say to Hector everything that you wish you could say to your father. Okay, so it's a very high tension, tense moment. So they're talking, right? They're speaking to each other, Hector and Wendy, and they're speaking as if, Hector's speaking as if he was talking to his daughter, she was speaking as if she was talking to her father. And they were so soft, I mean, they were choked up. You could tell they were choked up. They were so soft you could hardly hear them. People started to come up to the front of the room. Like I said, people come up to the front, laying hands on their backs. Eventually, there was a whole ring, a whole group of people were already around these two talking. Then more people came up, and more people came up. And I came up, I was about third. I was like in the third row back. And everyone had their arms on each other's shoulders like this. And we were all listening really, really hard because they were so quiet. I mean, I was like 3 rows behind them. I could see them talking, I could barely hear them. And at one point, like I said, we all had our arms like this and our head down, listening. And at one point, I opened my eyes and I looked around and I realized that every single person in the room, all 75 people, were standing around these two, or these three, listening like this. Like we were all connected, with our arms like that. We all had our head down like this. And at one point, Vicky said to Wendy and Hector, because they were, it was tense, it was a very tense moment. She said the following words. She said, take a breath, take a breath. She was speaking to Wendy and Hector, right? She wasn't speaking to anyone else. She said, take a breath. And when she said that, when she said, take a breath, the entire room, all 75 people went like this. Oh, wait, they went, okay, so everyone went like this. Like everyone took a breath at the exact same moment. And the whole group went like this. You could feel it. And as soon as that happened, I said to myself, that was it. You just saw it. You just saw the human soul. The human soul had revealed itself to me in that precise moment when everyone went together as if we were one unit. And since that experience, 25 years ago, my life has been better than it was before that experience, because now I know that the human soul is real. The human soul exists. How do I know it? Because I saw it. That was the only explanation, that it was the human soul revealing itself to me in that exact moment. And that, my friends, is the story of the human soul. Be sure to read my book, Broccoli Time, by Dante Allen, available now on Amazon Books, the best parenting book you will ever read.